Well, this is interesting. I just noticed I've been on mute the whole time through Zoom. So there's a very good chance that the live on YouTube has not been receiving audio. This is why
Well, this is interesting.
Oh, there we go. Now I don't know if it's going to play.
I just noticed I've been on mute the whole time through Zoom. So there's a very good chance that the live on YouTube.
Okay, I think I had to turn the voice down over there. See, we learn as we go when we try to do these makeup videos. So I've put the sound down there. I hope it's still audible to the audience. Guess we'll find that out in the future. And okay, we are recording. The unmute has happened. And we can begin the Barbie Colourpop. If it can stop being blurry. Can this stop being blurry? I don't know what I have to do. If my hand is not blurry, it's like magic. I'm wondering if I just stop the virtual background. What if I did that? Nope. Okay, we'll just have it that way. So to review, the fun colors are Best Coast, Follow the Sun, Malibu Memories, Surfs Up. You've got your neutrals, some shimmers, 3 interesting kind of gold colors. Vintage Doll goes with the pink, but the Cali Girl is a champagne-y kind of shimmer. Come On is kind of like a goldy bronze, yellowy bronze. Then Shine On is more of a bronzy shimmer. But these are the fun ones. And I think I've decided to try some of the pinks and trying the Ambidextrous method and see how it goes. So I had gotten 2 brushes that are close to each other. I think I'm going to start with Let's Go Party. Oh, and I wanted to kind of do a zoomed in option to make sure that was captured. Although, I guess I'll have to go with the photo I took earlier. So here we go. Let's go party. It feels like destroying it to go into it for the first time. And this is my first time using Colourpop. So here we go. So these brushes are different. And the color is pretty pigmented. This is far brighter orange than I expected. So does this even count as a transition color? I don't know. I think there will be a lot of blending going on. Now, I wonder if there ought to be thinner brushes for the crease. I think we can just keep going with these and see how it goes. So next, going into Best Coast, the bright, bright pink. I'm kind of sticking more on the outer corners. And now sweeping it up towards the eyebrow. Leaving a little bit more of the orangey peach in the middle. I'll blend that out after. I might even add some yellow to that. So far, so good. Putting these aside so I don't mix them up. I know I have, okay, these 2 are similar and yeah, they're pretty close. Still got some soap residue on them. I think I will try going right into the Vintage Doll, which is the shimmery pink. It is kind of flaking in the pan, and I'm trying to not get it, I'm tapping and not really swiping. I'm trying not to get it outside of the pan too much. And okay, at first I thought this wasn't sticking, but it seems it is. You just kind of have to rub it in. But at first it seemed like it was flaking a bit. And it's getting my eyebrows, but I'm kind of used to that. And having blonde eyebrows, it's not as big of a deal, I think. Kind of bring it down in the middle to blend back some of that orangey. Well, so far I'm kind of liking it. That is some bright pink, and I would say that's my style. What was the other one I was going to use? Oh yeah, I was going to go in with a bright pink and then do the follow the sun. I can't tell yet if the follow the sun shimmer pink will be enough on its own or if it needs another color underneath. And if so, what color? See, this is where I kind of want to do the blue, but I kind of want to stick. I wonder what would happen if I went. So that orange I just used could be good under the follow the sun, but that bright, bright orange could be too bright. So I need to find another brush that's close to this. This one's a Body Shop brush. Or I guess I could go with these two. One is a NYX brush, one is a Body Shop brush. This is actually a lip and concealer brush, but they're pretty darn close. So that might work. Let's see. All right, yes, I'm going to go in with the Let's Go Party. And I'm going to tap this towards the inside. Well, a little bit outside of the inside. The going to the halfway point, but starting at the third, I would say. The other thing about doing an ambidextrous is on the eyes, it can be a little difficult considering you kind of need one eye closed and one eye open. That's one aspect. I think I'm going to try the West Coast yellow color on the inner corner. I guess I have to, if I place them, hey, not only am I doing ambidextrously, I'm doing it with my eyes closed. I cannot see anything right now. My eyes are closed. I'm going by feel. I remember seeing a video about how a blind girl does her makeup. So maybe I'm having a few seconds of experiencing that. Okay, we got the yellow, we got the orange. What was the other one I was going to do? Oh, we had Let's Go Party. And then I'm thinking about going to the SoCal, which is the more orangey orange. I mean, it is orange. So putting this on next. And I suppose it only makes sense to have the pink as the last color. So now back into Best Coast, just tapping into the pan. This definitely seems pigmented, I'll give them that. And so far, all matte except for Vintage Doll up here. And kind of making a bit of a wing as I go. Wonder if that is anybody watching. Well, we'll see later. This wing to me seems a little bit bigger in the pink. So might need to make a bit more out here. Can always blend a bit more later. Okay. I feel like I need to go. These brushes are a little bit too fine. I think I'm used to using wider brushes. So I think I will go back into the more fluffy brushes and back into Vintage Doll. Put more back up here and kind of use this to blend into the crease, blend that wing I have going on. Yeah, this is definitely kind of a sunset situation going on. I like it. Now, I'm going to try going a little bit more bold, going back into the Best Coast and putting some more of the bold pink in the crease again. I suppose I could face this way and just use the computer or camera as a mirror almost. It's a little far away to be looking all over the camera, but I think the computer works okay. This is some bold pink. I feel like there's some rock star type character in a movie that has makeup like this, or maybe it's one of the emojis, like the rock star emoji. I just cleaned off my mirror. I don't know how it got smudgy again. So the shimmer, I feel like it lets the skin show through, and it has, I wouldn't call it metallic. I would call it somewhat shimmery, but it's nice. It's light. It doesn't pop like the matte. I don't know if that's just standard, but I mean, that is bright, which is what I was looking for. So next, I guess it's time to try Follow the Sun. And I feel like We've got three sets of brushes happening. I think it would be okay to use the crease brushes for that. Follow the Sun is the second brightest pink. It's the shimmer. I know most people put shimmer in the inside, but I'm going to put it towards the outside. And again, this is kind of a, I guess what I'd call a medium shimmer. Like I see sort of, I don't know if they call these reflects, where it's almost like teeny tiny. I mean, some people call this glitter. When I've worn things like this in gold, people are like, oh, your glitter. I'm like, it's shimmer. Glitter is bigger. But I think for some people, it's hard to tell because in the pan, it's pretty shimmery. In the vintage doll, it's already balling up. I've seen that before, but I guess I thought that comes from old makeup, but this is brandy new. The vintage doll right there, do you see that balling up? That's just from tapping a few times. So I don't know what to make of that. Well, while we're here, I like want to try putting maybe Cali Girl on the inside. Perhaps can go back to the tiny brushes for that. Wipe them on a paper towel a little bit. I can't tell if this is just stained or there's actually that much pigment in the brush. It's a lot brighter in person than it's showing up. Well, let's just, a lot of people use the finger for the inner corner, so let's try that. That's how it looks on the finger. Can focus. So it's pretty close to skin color. And I think it'll go nicely over the yellow. So far, so good. And I think that would work very well for the inner corner. Somehow I got some up here. Not sure how that happened. And I'll put some more on the inner corner. Very nice, my friends. Very nice. That works very nicely. And I would say it's a little bit more white, as I was kind of hoping. Kind of a gold white. But it's just, that's nice. I like that. Oh, and I'm kind of forgetting to put it on the lid. Okay, this is turning out better than I guess I was prepared for disappointment, I think. But I'm having some fun. And while I'm at this, why don't I put this right under the brow bone as well? Yes, indeed. I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and blend. Okay, blending in the crease. Getting better and better. I feel like this is very summery, very fun. Now, what was I just going to do? Was there another shimmer I wanted to add? I'm seeing a little bit of fall. Oh yeah, I did bring my fan brush for that. I don't have excessive powder under my eyes because I did my makeup earlier and touched it up. Okay, we've got a little bit of needing to blend there and there and there. And I guess I got rid of that spot that wasn't meant to be there. I feel like it might look, I don't know, pink under the eye. I feel like that's what we did in theater when someone was sick or reddish. So why don't we just try the blue? Now, which brush to use? Ooh, these two are pretty close. They're different handle lengths, but the brush parts are pretty similar. I feel like this needs a little bit more precision and might be good to do it one time, but let's stick with the ambidextrous theme. Now, as I tap this, it feels like it's making dents right in the pan. So that's one good thing about this. You can tap like this. I can see almost like smoke coming off as I tap. So that, I suppose, tells us something. Maybe better to tap like this than over the pan and let the dust fall there. I could be wrong, but this is one of my first times doing under the eye powder lining with both hands at once. I think I've done more painting on other people with both hands. Oh yeah, this is actually easier with the not zoomed in mirror. Or maybe it's just because I can, yeah, because the not zoomed in one, I can see both eyes at the same time better. This is fun. Well, I might be a fan of Colourpop, even though their customer service never really answered my questions. I kept asking, I would ask the same ones and they would answer partially, sort of. And I did Google and they're known for pretty horrific customer service. So that's unfortunate. Maybe they'll improve that one day. But their makeup's pretty good so far. Maybe they feel they don't need customer service to be decent because they know their products are going to remain popular. And I wonder what would happen if I kind of just added this back here. I suppose we could try it. Today is not a wearing out in the world makeup day. I brought some black eyeliner with me. I don't know if I'm going to even need it. Kind of creating a bit of a wing. I mean, it's dramatic. It's fun. I thought it would be easier to go outside in, but there are aspects to going inside out that are helpful as well. I don't want to bring this too far in and start messing with the other colors. It's also kind of hard to feel exactly where my lash line is with my both eyes closed. I actually feel like the blue part is looking better in the camera than it is in real life. So let's see what happens if I well, I'm not really seeing it blend into purple yet. And I wanted to add some of the blue shimmer, which is Surf's Up. Trying to remember which eye I had the slightly longer bristles on. Actually, I almost want to do the Surf's Up with a slightly bigger brush. And the only brush I have that is similar is this one, which is much longer bristles. So I don't know if that's wise or if, so these two brushes are close, but I think they're too fluffy. This one is close to this one. This one's longer. And they're totally different color bristles, but I'm not sure how different. But then see, I don't know if you can tell, but the soap still is causing almost like the fact that I can do that, but really the brush is like that. I don't know if that's going to cause any issues. I don't know what this called. It's almost like acting as if it's pomade. Oh, and then this, oh, you know what? This one matches up with this one decently. So maybe we could try that. All right. Going to Surf's Up. Tappity tap, tap, tap. These handles are very different. The next one, this is the only one I've seen that is triangular, and this one is very round. So they even feel very kind of different in my hands. I can't tell how much of a difference the shimmer blue is making in the under eye. Maybe I can just go and let this be brought down a bit and not worry too much about it, because we're not going for subtle here. I did not bring my setting spray with me. I feel like there's one makeup artist that's like, let's step back and evaluate the situation. I almost can see some purple happening, I think, right around here. That is interesting. Ooh, so let's bring some of that shimmery surface up a bit to that outer corner and let that become more of the wing. This brush on my left is feeling more scratchy because I think I'm getting down to the ferrule because of the shorter bristles. At this point, I feel like I'm starting to get the colors mixed together, which is great to mix blue and pink. But I don't want to just, blend everything. Ooh, actually, I do like that. Again, it's looking better in the camera, I think, than in real life. I feel like that's not what anybody says. Normally they say the opposite. One thing I meant to do was try the highlighter as a base for the eyes. All right. Oh, you know what? I wanted to put the, wait, I think I put the shimmer pink already on the middle eyelid, but I want to put some more towards the outside. Let that mix back in with the blue. And I think I was starting to want to put some of the extra light in the middle. Let's try it. Why not? I'm tapping and I can feel it falling on my face because that's the one that was balling up. So I don't know that it's doing much. Maybe that's the kind of thing you go in with a finger. I mean, it still feels pretty soft. Oh, you know what? I can't remember if there's any Super Shock ones in this palette. I mean, it feels soft and I guess kind of bouncy. I am new to Super Shocks as well. I almost called it Power Shock. But what I don't, so this is one of the questions I had for customer service. If Super Shock can dry out and it's so important to have it tightly closed in the cap in the circle ones, then how do they have Super Shock in the palettes where you can't really close it properly? That added something nice. It almost took on a different appearance in the middle. Like it's to me looking different than it looks up here because it's got these other colors under it. So maybe this is a dual chrome. I think we're getting close to the end of the eyes. I think the lighting helps too. In real life, it's not as light as it would be awesome, but in the camera it is. I wasn't sure if we would need eyeliner. I think we'll try it. I mean, a light color eyeliner would be fun, but got the black one right here. So we're gonna try it. I haven't used the pen eyeliners in a while. I've used cake eyeliner and wet it myself. Okay, let's start out marking the angle. I like to point the tip to the end of my eyebrow. And that's the angle I want things starting. I feel like liquid eyeliner was not so popular until, I don't know, maybe the YouTube era of makeup. Now that's very little. Like it's a short wing and it kind of only goes to the middle of the iris. I don't know if that'll be enough, but it's easier to add more than to take away. I'd been using that unusual roller ball one that took a while to understand, but I've really come to like it. All right, so we've got just tiny little wings, which I think adds something. It is pretty bold. I think it opens the eye up a bit, but it's kind of an unusual look. I guess it could be kind of Barbie-esque, but I also kind of think go ahead further in, but keep it as thin as possible. The other thing is tons of the YouTubers do fake eyelashes. If I'm not doing ballroom, that's not really practical for me. And even though this makeup look is not exactly everyday makeup, it's still a lot simpler than ballroom. So it's closer to everyday. And lashes for me are usually a ballroom thing or some kind of performing. I'm finding it hard to keep the line extremely thin as I go towards the middle. And and to keep it the lash line. So I almost think what I started with was a bit better, but actually I think this looks better, even though it feels too bold to me towards the inside. And to me, the line is not perfectly straight, but again, I don't think it's showing up in the camera. I can't see it at the same time. Like when I look down, I feel like I can see imperfections. This is where the zoomed in mirror comes in handy. And then, I saw like this fox eye where they went all the way inside. I think I'm just going to try that just for fun. Although I don't know if they went to this part of the inside or right here. I guess I feel like fox eye doesn't really go with Barbie anyhow. Plus, if I put the highlight in the inner corner, it feels weird to then do the eyeliner. And I'm not looking to do the waterline. I kind of wish these were flipped up a bit more. And I wonder if I could get the tail to be extra thin. Well, that just got extended more than I planned. So then I got to go on with the other one. Although that's not that far off. It's kind of hard to get it not skipping. Oh boy. And now we're far winged out. And then it feels like the color doesn't quite match. But actually, I feel like in the camera, it looks decent. And this is why people have some difficulty with liquid and winged eyeliner. Oops. I just made that so gosh darn thick, way more than I meant to. And there's kind of no going back from that. But I kind of got back the thickness on the outside, which is what I want. So actually, I do like it. What do you know? Sometimes what you didn't intend can still work for you. Only thing is though, this one looks more straight over here, and this one kind of curves down. I really don't want to mess with it much more. Why don't we put the mascara on and then see how it goes? Plus, this is going to be washed off sooner than later. So this is not a time to fret. Additionally, I've had times where I'm convinced my lips are completely lopsided, and then I consult with someone. They say otherwise. Granted, the someone is not a makeup expert. They don't even like makeup. They're a guy, and they prefer girls without makeup. But I think they could still spot symmetry. I mean, symmetry is symmetry. If you are someone who knows how to do symmetry. Now, I just hope this eyeliner is dry, because if it's not, we could have issues. I wonder how many other people do ambidextrous eye curling, especially since this handle is so thin and this one's thicker, so it feels different in the hands. But I mean, once you line them up separately, this is kind of weird. As I look my eyes through the curler, it reminds me of some people who've had like injuries and are healing from it. I think I've already done two kind of clamps, but I want to do the last little bit because my eyelashes are pretty long. This is fun. As I see it in the camera, I actually do like it better than in the mirror. I feel kind of like a Barbie. And I have memories of previous times in life looking more frequently like a Barbie and enjoying that. And I kind of liked when people would comment on that. Same thing when they would mention other popular characters. It was nice to be compared to those, even if they were cartoons. there are so many new mascaras and they talk about all these new formulas. I think I've just been chosen to try this one that I probably will review in the future. I think they want you to post on certain social media, but I might as well do YouTube because I like doing that. Although I don't know how to then post that link, but I kind of wonder how much mascara formulas have changed. I know some of the YouTubers talk about different aspects. Like, I think one of the ones I mentioned before, she doesn't seem to wear false eyelashes because she has pretty long eyelashes, even longer than mine, even though mine, touch my sunglasses, hers appear to be longer. So she doesn't really need false eyelashes. And I think she said she doesn't like to. I think she's more about wearable makeup. So she's more into like the nudes, mauves, everyday kind of makeup. But in my opinion, like these light pinks, it's a little bright. It almost looks a little bit more bright on camera. But I feel like this works better for me than that palette I have that it has nudes, but they're so dark. And therefore, it would look like goth or something if I had that on my eye because it's such a contrast. This might be bright, but it's not such a dark contrast to my features. So like if this were in black and white, maybe I should take some pictures in black and white. I think that would work just fine. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. What's that thing they say? He likes it. Okay, so next, I suppose we would be on to the highlighter. I don't know if most people would do mascara before a highlighter. There's a lot I'm experimenting with. I had simplified my routine for so long. I'm just getting back into the extra fun stuff. So we've got the highlighter. Now it's a Super Shock formula. As I mentioned, I am new to the Super Shock. So I asked them, what does this mean? They say it's like bouncy and cushiony. So we've got this compact. It's pretty cute. Barbie, Colourpop. Why is this not focusing? And so it's like a clip on the underneath. Oh, and they've got kind of cute design on the back. Now, I don't know if this will be coming in backwards because of how it's filming. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or Zoom thing or how that works. More to learn as we go. Well, maybe this is how they keep it from drying out because it's not the easiest to open. Okay, I didn't want to break anything. So we've got the plastic that goes over it. The mirror has a mirror shield. Now that's the thing. I wonder if the mirror gets dirty or if you're meant to keep this plastic on all the time. So this is different than it was online. I think I actually like it better. It seems to have kind of multiple colors. I would say the champagne gold reminds me of the eyeshadow Call Girl. Oh, Cali Girl. I was like, why would Barbie have Call Girl? Oh boy. Unless they were like, call me girlfriend. I would say that's pretty similar. Do I see? I don't know if I see the come on bronzy gold and then shine on. Maybe the dark parts in here are darker than the shine on over here. But I would say, from what I can tell, it seems like it could be a mixture with mostly the Cali Girl. What I'm seeing in here, I'm gonna put this back now. I wonder if you're supposed to put the plastic back in the same spot you had it so that you don't mix colors. So what I see is the bright white kind of champagne, kind of a more yellow gold, then this dark kind of bronze. What is that like? Yeah, so that section stays, if I go over just that section, it's quite orange. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a bronzer orange. It's not focusing, but so I think they said to use your fingers. Now, I don't know if this, can't remember if this packaging is different than the inside. I think it's a little bit different. I think everything seems to have palm trees, but do they have instructions? Interesting. Ingredients: dimethicone, synthetic flogopite. I'm usually halfway decent at pronouncing words I've never seen like this, but it's also like tinier than a millimeter. Fluorphenol. logopite, alumina, isonenoate, calcium, sodium borosilicate, and a whole bunch of other things. And as I recall, dimethicone resistant silicone. I did look up an article about how to identify silicones in ingredients, and a lot of them were anything that ends in cone, and there's some others as well. Glycerin, propylene carbonate, something cross polymer, vinyl. I didn't know they could make vinyl. I know they put vinyl on like cars. You could put vinyl here. So point being, when I looked at the instructions, it said you could use your fingers as the primary option, but I've still got a little bit of eyeshadow here. Or you could use like a foundation brush, flat. I mean, let's try the fingers. Again, we're not going anywhere. Can't even really see my blush at this point. I did try some of the Sailor Moon blush, but I'd rather try that, since I'm new to having collections, I'd rather try that all at once. So, I mean, this feels quite moist to me. I can see how they could dry out, but it would be nice if they stayed like this. So now I've got it on 3 fingers. I don't know how much you can see that, or if you can see this. How to get it to focus. Well, point being, my skin's very light. This doesn't even seem lighter than my skin. It seems almost darker. Definitely very shimmery, kind of gold champagne. So we're gonna try this with the fingers, both at once again. Not seeing much. Okay, I'm seeing a little, and I think they describe this as not like blinding. And I'm not even positive what they mean as blinding. I think it means, very noticeable. I can't remember if people put it on the bottom or right here. I think they put some here, and I'm not sure if they put it here. I know that people seem to put it here all the time, but I don't know if they put it just on the I can't remember if these are the nasolabial folds or this. I forget what this is called. This might be a frenulum, I think. The times from theater makeup days. And I think some people do this. The foundation's already not in great shape, even though I put it on just a little while ago. It's e.l.f. I was new to them. It's good if I'm normally taking things off soon, but like I've got creasing happening here. Hopefully it's not showing up on the camera too much. So this highlighter, it seems like you can get just a little bit going. Let's try what happens under the brow bone. Ooh. So I thought that this was maybe going to take away some of what was on there, but it does actually seem to go over it and kind of glide and maybe even enhance. Let's try the inner corner. Well, there's already quite a bit of shine there, so that's good. But can I bring it up for fun? I think it's working because I can feel that kind of silicone silkiness. And then let's see what happens. Let's just try some stuff. Right underneath here. Brighten that up. I think I like that. But again, I'm actually not seeing all that much. Like I'm trying to figure out how hard do I have to press into the Super Shock to get enough on my finger to really see some changes. I don't know. While I'm here, let's get it on the very tip of the finger and then go under here. I know I feel like someone I was watching just said don't highlight this whole area, but if I'm using it just under the eyeliner, we're just playing. We're not going out like this. I'm not seeing it show up all that much. So I almost wonder, like, what would happen if I did try that? Since it's so close to my skin tone, what would happen if I did put highlighter in the whole under eye area? And the other thing is, it's hard to tell how deep this goes because, okay, this is very slippery. That's got to be the silicone. It's almost like oily, more than I expected. So it's almost like it's got more oil than pigment. Or I don't know if you call this pigment, shimmer. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be picked up in the camera anyhow. I'm barely seeing anything. I don't know what to make of this. But either way, it's fun to play with. And sometimes if I want to see how deep the pan goes, I'll get like a safety pin. And usually I'll put alcohol on it, so I'm not introducing anything. Wipe that off. And then, okay, it's as thin as I thought. I almost thought I was touching the pan as I was pushing into it. I thought it said it was like 9 grams, but it seems like it's only maybe 2 millimeters of thickness. So even though you get this huge pan, I think it can go very quickly. The other thing is the feeling of this reminded me very much of the Physicians Formula Muro Muro butter highlighter. That seemed less oily and more meaty, like more substance to it. I'll have to compare, but maybe the other one was a little bit more dry already. I'll have to experiment, but from what I understand, if this is Super Shock, then it seems like it will. I mean, I can see this on bare skin. Maybe this is the kind of thing that people put on their shoulders and clavicle. I mean, I don't really have much clavicle showing here, but let's try it. I mean, I've had body lotions that had more shimmer than this. I mean, if I have it, I would use it. What happens if I do this? Doesn't really have a scent. I think that they're known for not scenting anything, which I'm sure a lot of people love, but it's also fun to have a scent for those who like it, especially with body stuff, because usually body skin is less sensitive than facial skin. Yeah, I am barely seeing this. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. I thought Barbie would be a stronger shimmer. It's gold. It kind of just blends in, but I feel like it does not catch the light. What I can't quite tell is if I've got like any blemishes or redness, does it make that more pronounced or does it make it go away? Like you can't see it in the camera, I don't think, but in real life, I don't know. It's a very faint shimmer. I don't know how I feel about that. I would try it as a base for eye color. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go just all over the eyelid now that, well, I could also try that later. You know what'd be neat? If I felt like this eyeliner was too dark for me, what if I just put some of this over it? I feel like it mutes it slightly the way, because I might prefer now a tiny bit of eyeliner's coming off, so I'd have to wipe that and start over. But I feel like charcoal works better on me, whereas black is just so harsh. I mean, it's like going the opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm Casper colored, and black is the opposite. I think I like this, putting the highlighter over the eyeliner to turn it more in the realm of charcoal. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. Look at me being a trailblazer. Okay, putting this away. So now, I mean, we can only try one lipstick at a time. I'm not one of those people that usually wipes it off and tries others. So we've got the Malibu Sunset, the Dream House, and the Golden Beach. But based on the name, I'm thinking the Golden Beach is probably the lightest one. Or the middle. Dream House is hard to tell. Malibu Sunset, I could see that being the darkest one because sunsets are pretty colorful. We'll see. Oh, I think I'm right. I remember one thing people like, I think people are talking about how the packaging kind of is like a toy. I don't know if they like that or not. I like that they have the kind of old style Barbie silhouette, but then what people have been kind of raving about is that Barbie is engraved right into the lipstick. Is this going to focus? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Someone said it's laser engraved. That makes sense. So I can at least show you. It almost matches my background. This one is Malibu Sunset. Oh, it kind of clicks when you get to the bottom. That might be helpful to know it's not going to slide out, I guess. I don't know if that happens much with lipsticks. So Dream House, I'm thinking would be the middle one. And they all come with lip liner. I think this is the middle one. Dream House Cream. So how would I describe this? I mean, in the camera, it looks lighter than it looks in person. In person, actually, it almost looks like it matches the box in person. But see, this box is reflecting, so the camera is not seeing what I'm seeing. In real life, this looks like slightly darker than the box, and the packaging looks the same color as the box. And in the camera, this looks pretty close to my lip color, and actually in real life too. I would say this is pretty close to my lip color. That's good to know. I think that's the middle one. So that is Dream House with the rainbow on it. One of the reasons I love rainbows is because of the story of Noah's Ark. And so for Halloween, I did a rainbow on my forehead and wrote, God made this, because God gave the rainbow as a sign of peace after the flood. And I like to think of God when I think of rainbows. I like to think of it from heaven. And I like to think of, childhood innocence and fun and unicorns and like those bright folders we had. And, peaceful, the dove at the end as well. But I especially like to think of rainbows being from God. And I tend to prefer my rainbows with pink as the red. So next we have Golden Beach. This is that one that I know, people who love nude, I guess, love this one. Okay, again, it looks much lighter in the camera than it is in person. This one kind of smells good. It doesn't seem like it's got a fragrance to it. Maybe it's just the ingredients. There's like a slight vanilla or cake scent, but I thought they didn't scent their stuff. I can't remember now. So this is the one I kind of wanted to try to see how I'd like it, especially with a more bold eye. But the thing is, I didn't really use the blue all over the eye. So this is more of an actual medium eye look than I'd originally planned. I'm wondering if I should just go with that middle one that probably would be safest because it's closest to my lip color, and try this another day. You know what? It's the first day of Colourpop. I want to try new things. I'll be bold. I'll start with the lip liner. It's just so brown to me. Like in my mind, these colors make me look sick. Generally nudes are not for fair-skinned blondes. But somebody described it as pinky. I guess we could just try it. I can't tell if I've got leftover like bright purpley pink from earlier. Not much is coming off. So even if there is some staining, we're pretty much back to my regular lip color. So this does require a sharpener, and it comes slightly sharpened. But that's not much to work with, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, maybe let's try it on my hand first. Okay, it doesn't take much pressure. Like, look at, I can do this, and I can do this. I'm really not pressing. I don't think I could press hard. It's, again, darker in real life than it looks. I feel like my lips are a little bit messed up because I tried a color that I knew I couldn't remember how much I didn't like it. And I was sad because I heard such great things about it. So I took that off quickly before my voice lessons. And then I put another color on that I'm aware of, but I just kind of smeared it on my finger. So it kind of messed up the foundation underneath a bit. I tried to touch it up, but I guess that's one good thing about having fairly dark lips is it stands out from the foundation. I mean, I feel like I could use this lip liner because it's not bold and so it could probably go with many things. I'm trying to stay in camera view. Also, I am not exactly positive how it works to do the YouTube and Zoom. It seems like when I go back to the YouTube screen, it's behind. I'm still putting on lip liner in that one, even though I'm not in the live Zoom. And it says one person's watching, but I haven't seen any comments. So back to Zoom we go. I really hope the audio is working. That would be such a shame if it wasn't. Oh no, I checked it. I put the volume up, but then I had to put it down. I'm gonna have to learn more about that. Like I said, everybody's got to start somewhere. I'd like to know more about how some of these YouTubers start. Now, I don't know in Colourpop if they, I mean, most of the time lip liners are drier formula than lipstick. And a lot of people will use the lip liner all over their lip because it gives like, it's almost like foundation. It gives a base for the rest to sit on. And it will last longer. I'm not trying to have it last longer since I'll be washing off soon. But I guess I can try it a little bit. My lips are a little bit flaky. I mean, so far, this isn't so bad, but in my mind, it's gonna look like Frankenstein. Like, part of me thinks it looks a little bit sickly, but it's at least enough of a contrast. You know, I did used to use this one that I think it came free with like a Lancome bag or something. I forget what it was called, like cappuccino maybe. And it was kind of a like a bronzy brown matte, even though I also used like a gold bronze shimmer, which I like better, but it's also again very light. This does seem a little bit brown, but I mean, I just feel like so many people got into this because of the trend without acknowledging, does this actually work for my skin or not? I'll have to sit with it, but the good thing is it goes okay with the eyes. It's not loud. Part of me has thought like, oh, preserve these so I can maybe give some away or something, but my aim is to try things and play with them. I can always mix colors. I could just put gloss on from here. I don't have it with me, I don't think. Or maybe I do. Such decisions. I could try, yeah, I think I've already put the lip liner all over here. So I think now's the time I could try the more pink lipstick over it. What to make of this? I mean, so many lipsticks look darker on me because my lips are fairly dark. Even things like some of the long wear that you put 3 layers on and you think you can't even see your real lip color underneath, they still look darker on me. Like there was a fuchsia that looked like not red, but just way too dark comparatively. I think I'd have to sit with this and get used to it. I don't know what to call this. I mean, I guess it's a nude. Is it mauve? Is it peach? Is it even cool or warm, or is it just neutral? I'm thinking more towards neutral. Okay, so going into dream house with the rainbow. That's why I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna be bold and brave. And even though I mostly wear long wear lipstick and I wouldn't wear this every day, I can wear it for filming and things like when I'm gonna be at home. Yummy vanilla cake scent. I also don't want to mess up the Barbie thing. I kind of want to, you know what? Let me take a picture first. What kind of background though? Oh, it's later than I thought. Of course, the phone is as slow as can be when we're here live. That is kind of cute. Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't use lipstick like this because to me, that's just asking for it to just break right off. So I put just as much as I can actually use. This is more pinky. Definitely more pink than, how do I get this to focus? Definitely more pink. Again, these are darker than they appear in the camera, but this is a lot more pink. It almost looks purple in the camera, but much more pink than the Golden Beach. It's been so long since I've used this kind of lipstick, it's more like I forget. This seems pretty creamy. I'm pretty sure they're not calling this a matte. As far as I'm concerned, it's almost a matte, but maybe it qualifies as satin. I mean, it feels creamy. I can see a tiny bit of reflection or moisture. I don't know how you'd refer to it. And I don't know how much the lip liner underneath is affecting this, but it's okay. At least, you know, my lips aren't too light, but it's not in your face like fuchsia or red like I so often wear. I mean, that I feel like you have to have very neutral, muted eyes, which you can do with this palette. Where did it go? If I were to do kind of like an everyday neutral, something that could maybe go with red lips, that could be dark or for eyeliner. This and this could be, I mean, this was pretty darn orange on me. Other people, it looked much lighter peach. This would be interesting. And this, or this, maybe this is one they used. This is pretty, but that, you know, some of these will end up darker than I expect. Then I could probably use some of the shimmers. I guess there'll be a lot to experiment. There could probably be a lot of looks to do with this. I've got an eyebrow hair just kind of like vertical. You know, the lips, I think they're growing on me. I would still probably put gloss over this because I've always been more about gloss than matte. And then let's see, you know how you do this to get, make it so it won't go in your teeth? Some people go, but then you got on your finger and then you have saliva on your finger. This is a bit more sanitary. And then I guess sometimes it might, so that only took some off. I know some people will actually set this with powder, like they'll put a one ply tissue and then pat powder over it. That really didn't seem to take away much of the color on here or for my lips. So again, I'm just not used to wearing this kind of lipstick, and especially with masks. I don't think I'd want it rubbing on the mask and then rubbing on my face. And again, I wear long wear lipstick. It took, you know, I wore it when it first came out. Then I stopped for a while because it was maybe the formula wasn't the best. Then I went back to it and I'm like, why did I ever stop this? Because I remember there being a makeup artist that said, I thought doing your lips all day long was one of the great joys of being a woman. I'm like, it's one of the great hassles that you have to carry it with you, whatever you put on in the morning, keep track of it, put it on, wipe off your mouth like after you eat and stuff. So in my mind, every other part of my makeup routine, it's one and done for the day. So why wouldn't lipstick be as well? So I guess the good thing here is you get to try new colors, but admittedly, these, I think this was $16 for the duo. That's a lot more. I mean, that's as much as I would pay for the long wear most of the time. Now I got this as a set, but some of their sets aren't even that much cheaper, but I was able to use a coupon. Whereas some of the things, the thing that made no sense to me on their website was some of the items in a collection, you could use the coupon. Some of the small aspects of the collection, you could use a coupon. Some, like the full collection, usually you could not, but yet right now on their site, they seem to allow some of the full collections to have the percentage off. So it's really hard. I mean, again, because I'm new to them, I don't know what to expect from their sales. Like that'll be a pattern I learned to develop over time. It seems they have coupons sometimes. It seems they have like a site-wide sale, but yet various things are excluded. So I don't know what to make of that. They have a lot of things out of stock. There's like It's My Pleasure purple palette I was interested in, and it hasn't come back in stock, but yet I don't know if that's one that says like OG favorite. So I don't know if I should expect that one to come back. But I got the Lilac You a lot, so that might give me what I need. Plus, between the other palettes, I think I'll probably be set. Like, how many options are there really? But I guess we ought to go in close for this. I think the lips work. I mean, would I call them Barbie lips? Probably not. I think that bright magenta would be more of a Barbie lip. This is on the more muted side. But again, if you're going to go with bright eyes, the lip, I think, has to be more muted. It's working very well on the camera. That works for me because, you know, after we're all gone, our files may remain. So I'd rather have it look good in the camera more than it does in real life. But in real life, the foundation is kind of coming apart, but that's not Colourpop. It, you know, it just doesn't look as exciting from the eyes. But again, like when I look down in the camera, I'm pretty happy. And since I've always been about theater and screen, I'm happy that things look good there. So let's bring in the Barbie hair. This will be fun to brush out and wash tonight. I guess I could, well, if I had a digital zoom out, do that. It's hard to get everything in the frame. If only I could do it kind of vertically. I mean, from a distance, I feel like that doesn't look, if I saw someone from as it looks from a distance, nothing about this looks to me overly bright or cloudy. Like, sure, it's pink, but I think my NYX palette was almost just as pink, almost as bright. Although I don't think they had matte, and they had some purples that I liked. But I think this turned out nicely. I feel Barbie-esque. The hair is a little funny, like poodly. I did something I just used a couple little clips and puffed it up. Whatever happened to like those beehives? Why don't they bring those back? So as this is my first experience with Colourpop, so far so good. I have other palettes that I'm eager to try, especially the purples, but I think I want to do this one because I'm pretty sure this is the most recent one to come out. Next, I might do the Lizzie one. I'm not sure if the Lizzie or the Sailor Moon is the next most recent. I'm thinking it's Lizzie. And the Sailor Moon, like I wasn't terribly familiar with the Lizzie one. And Sailor Moon, I was aware of it, but I couldn't even tell you the character names. So I got it for the colors. They had, this bright green and again purples. So we'll see how that works. Because I think green and purple go really well together, especially like lime green and purple. That purple is kind of like a pinky berry purple. But so far, I feel kind of like a Barbie. So I'm liking that. The lipstick is not, my teeth are fairly white considering they're natural, and I don't drink coffee or things that stain it. So I feel like they're not, there's a pinky purpley, like bright pink I have that I feel like makes the teeth look a bit yellow. So I feel like this is okay for the teeth. The liner is the nude color and which is Golden Beach, and then the lipstick is the Dream House. I'd say it's a win. If you don't like bright colors, maybe it's not for you, but it seems like they have other colors that you could like, especially if you like oranges and yellows and kind of browny nudes and some shimmers. Like the light pink, I feel like it's more shimmer and duochrome than pigment. So I feel like even people who are a little scared of bright colors could enjoy that. And again, you've got those bright white kind of shimmer. I'll have to try the Come On and Shine On to see how those work. Should we do swatching now? Or should we just use the other ones another time? And then also I want to try combining things. Like that's one thing I don't really see people do with swatching is the layering things over and see how they work together. I think we could do that another time. This has been going on a while. But I gotta figure out what's the deal with the vintage doll being so. I don't think this one has a super shock. But why is it balling up? It's a little bit spongy, but nothing like the highlighter. So I press it, it gets a little flaky. And then, yeah, you really have to kind of rub it in, kind of like those Tarte Chrome ones, but they're not as flaky. And then the Follow the Sun, it just looks like chunks were taken out of it, but yet it performed nicely. But again, it's like these teeny tiny glitter things. There will be more experimenting to come. I just don't understand the flaking. Is that like a shimmer thing? Is it once you get it, add pressure, it's okay? And then what about using brushes? I don't know. Again, more experimenting. That's why it's fun to do things when you're about to take a shower. So if you don't like it, you don't have to wear it out. And if you have, if your skin is bothered, you're at home and can deal with it. I wonder what would happen if I put some eyeshadow over the lipstick, or actually the highlighter. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. I just can't get over how much better it looks on the camera. If only people could see us that way. Okay, so we've got Color Shock I don't want to smear this, so I don't know if I should tap it. Ooh, okay. Sometimes I've thought when the makeup artists on YouTube are like, ooh, I thought they were sometimes, they got a thing for free, so they're just, doing that for show, but it is kind of nice. So this is the color shock over here. Probably can't even see it that well. I tapped it on. That could really be saying, oh, why don't I just put that right on my lip? Okay. And cutting it in the middle. I feel like my lip is not big enough to do just the inside middle, but I probably could try. Ooh, I am liking this even better. I don't want to go back. Well, yeah, I could, because what's the worst that could happen? All right. Well, yeah. So I did get a little bit of lipstick in the Super Shock, I think. I don't want to smear it because I feel like that, but smear. Okay, so if I smear it here, yeah, it's moving it. But if I do the smearing on my lip, it's already on my lip. So where's it gonna go? Other than on my, I don't even know if you can see. All right, if I smear it, I think it's gonna blend it in more and actually like lighten the whole thing all together as opposed to being like a highlight. Like, okay, this much came off of my finger, which is okay because again, I blotted it already. Going back into the highlighter. I feel like this video could be called How to Play with Makeup because I feel like some people will probably follow tutorials and think that's all you can do is just follow what you're taught. But this is how you play. I mean, there's a method to the madness. Step by step, evaluating, trying things without creating a complete disaster. Like if you do one step at a time, if you don't like it, you haven't made a complete disaster where you're like, oh, the whole thing is lost. And then again, like I said, there's benefit to playing this way where there's no pressure of having to go out and look decent in the real world. Ooh, look, can you see how it's lighter now? It almost has like a more, I don't know if I'd call it orangey, but this is kind of gold. And I do like frosted lipsticks better. So this is something. Why have I not seen other people do this? I mean, with all the people that do all the interesting things that are like newer to the world, I wonder if this has a limit. Like I can only do this so much before the lipstick is taken off and it won't absorb any more of the highlighter. But I keep pressing, but it's like you don't want to press too hard because you're gonna get to the bottom of the pan. In fact, I think I just did. What I didn't expect is there's like a grid pattern. Can you see it right in the middle? Which I guess could be good at holding it in place from sliding. Good to know about that. I can't really feel it with my finger. Oh, I just revealed a lot more. And then even on the bottom, I'm starting to see that pattern, almost like a six pack of abs. And I haven't pressed much on that area, but maybe I've moved it. So I think there could be a limit to how much this can kind of tolerate adding. I got a chunk right here that's not ideal. And as I mush it, it blends it in more. And so it takes away kind of the highlight and it mixes it in more with the lipstick. And now I've mushed it so much, I'm losing my lip line. But what I like is now this is much more of a like a frosted lip, which I prefer. And I feel like that's more Barbie. And I don't know exactly when Malibu Barbie is from, but I kind of could see it. I mean, even the packaging to me looks like 60s or 70s graphics, like you see on some signs, like even the 70s show, like even not the font precisely, but sort of like there's other like more flower power type fonts that are more bubbly. So I'm not saying that's that way, but well, actually, yeah, the Malibu part is closer to that, what I'm thinking of. So yeah, I don't know what decade they're going for, but it definitely seems to be vintage. But do you see how, okay, I can actually see the reflection now. Do you see how different this is? This is one of the benefits of the creamy lipsticks that you don't really get with the longwear, because once you put the longwear on, you kind of have what you have. Some of them you can mix while they're still, while they haven't dried, but this, and it's still, I got some on my teeth. It's still muted, but more frosted. I can't explain how or why I like it, but same reason I like the shimmer on my eyes. So I think we're probably coming to the end now. I said that a little bit ago. I mean, if I've had my hair in a braid all this time, I kind of want to enjoy this and maybe try different things, but there's other days for that, other braids for that. And I don't know how, I know some people like do like a frozen thing to take the thumbnail, but I don't know how YouTube selects the thumbnail. Like if it knows like, okay, I'm freezing for it or what. I wish I could control my camera more from here, but yeah, I almost feel like the lips, they're not like, even though they've got more shimmer now, they're not obtrusive. Like they kind of just look like a natural color because the original lipstick was close to my color. And even though my brows are in real life fairly medium to darkly filled in today with a color that like is not light blonde, they're not showing up that much in the camera either. So everything's a bit lighter, which I usually tend towards those settings anyway. But look at the things that didn't seem great with the eyeliner, they seem better now. And putting the highlighter on it, I feel like diffuses the mistakes, kind of blurs the mistakes, not mistakes, but the things that I wasn't thrilled with. And if it works for me, I think it'll work for you too. So now that I have this makeup on, even though it is almost, well past a reasonable bedtime, now that it's on, I think I'm going to do some singing. And especially since I had voice lessons today, utilize after this effort. Now, when you're actually doing it, it would take a lot less time. But again, the playing is part of the fun, not just zipping through life and, really enjoying how it feels in your face, if it has a scent, how each color looks on your finger or your hand. There's a reason why so many people find makeup therapeutic. A lot of people find the singing thing I'm about to do therapeutic. Arts in general, they're at the top of Maslow's hierarchy. I think that kind of explains part of why they're so therapeutic. But they really, if everything hit the fan, we would need doctors and farmers and basics like shelter and food. But things are going okay. And so we're able to have art and fun and colors on our face and play and do eyeliner in different ways and try different things. And that can be some of the great joys of life. And if that can relax people and help them cope and help them feel less stress, and even if it can be just a distraction from the problems of life, it seems like a pretty healthy way to modify feelings as opposed to other options that exist that aren't really healthy for anybody. So I vote for those who enjoy color in 3D form on the face. Makeup is a wonderful self-care, mental health helper for many people. A lot of the makeup artists will say, makeup's my therapy. And it sounds like it could be some sort of just throwaway comment, but that's until you experience it and realize, wow, this is fun. Like my almost face shape can change and how I feel can change. And one thing I've loved about makeup, I don't always do it for beauty. Like, certain types of makeup are beauty makeup, but then this, I do think it's fairly pretty, but it's not necessarily making all my features at their best. It's more about the color and the fun and the trying the new things. And that's one of the great things about makeup. It doesn't always have to be about beauty. It can be about the color and the fun. And that has its own benefit. Especially if people know that's what you're going for and they don't think, oh, who does she think she is trying to be pretty? Well, that's not the only reason to wear makeup. And so many people feel confidence, not just because they've covered their acne or enhanced their features, but there's something about it. In my mind, like foundation is kind of like the underwear for the skin. Commando, some people might want to do on occasion, but you feel more put together when you've got your undies on. And similarly, when you've got your makeup on, even if you didn't have acne and it had decent skin and maybe didn't have dark under eye dark circles, there's just something, if you could feel more put together and more ready to face the world and more like, I don't know how to put words to it, but there's a confidence that comes for so many people. And there's some people that hardly look different at all, no matter how much makeup they have on them. And there's other people where they look one way and look so different, like a chameleon, when they have it on. And sometimes they end up far more of a positive change than the people who don't seem to look very different. I can't really tell what the deal is with them. I don't know if it's the non-changing people just don't really know how to do makeup. Sometimes even when they get it professionally done, I don't know if it's just certain faces, what you see is what you get. I mean, I've always said I'm a chameleon because I've played lots of different characters and I can look all kinds of different ways. But my regular face is, I don't know, maybe like a blank canvas. Maybe some people just have more of a blank canvas situation. I don't know. But I think we've done enough for today. Time to sing. May the love of heaven come upon you, your homes, your families. May you have health during this trying time. May you be at peace, and may you have love in your heart. And as usual, peace be with you. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Lots of love.